The story of the prophet Musa begins with the evil tyrant Firoun. His dream was interpreted that from amongst the Israelites will come a boy who will grow up and overthrow him. The evil Firoun immediately ordered to have all infant boys murdered and executed, and only spare the daughters. Musa's mother, peace be upon her, knew that the army would take her baby and kill him, but she couldn't continue to hide the baby for long, knowing that the army would be after her very soon. Desperate and no other options, Allah inspired her to put the baby in a basket and into the Nile River.
Please, Allah, protect my baby.
As she put the baby in the river and it began to float, Musa's older sister began to track alongside the riverbank. As the basket went down the river, it ended at none other than Pharaoh's palace. Pharaoh's wife couldn't have babies, so she begged Pharaoh to let them keep her. The baby cried and no one could soothe the baby. Musa's older sister managed to come into the palace and speak to Pharaoh's wife. She said, "I know of a woman who can soothe the baby." Pharaoh's wife begged her to bring this lady. It was Musa's mother. Pharaoh's wife hired her as the wet nurse, and by Allah's mercy, he reunited Musa and his mother. Pharaoh, however, was still skeptical and decided to test the baby's intelligence to decide whether he will let him live or kill him. Musa grew up in the palace. He grew up to be a strong man, tall in stature and very broad. One day Musa was walking and saw an Israelite fighting an Egyptian. He punched the Egyptian and accidentally killed him. The following day Musa went back and saw the same Israelite fighting another man. Musa grabbed the Israelite, but the Israelite told him,
Moses, do you intend to kill me as you killed a man yesterday?
A man came and told Musa he needs to run away because they are sending people to kill him. He ran away to a town called Midian. He ran for so long his sandals wore out. When he finally reached the town, he saw two women waiting to water their goats. He asked, "Why are they waiting?" They said they will wait for the men to finish, then they will begin to water their goats. The Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, grabbed their goats, took them down to get water. Because of his kind character, the father of the two women asked to meet the Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. The father of the woman's name was Shoaib, possibly the Prophet. Because he knew character was important, he offered his daughter to marriage in exchange for 10 years of work. The Prophet Musa worked for the full 10 years, but then had a dream that he had to go back home. As he and his family were walking in the desert, they got lost. They saw a light at the top of a hill and decided to get information. Perhaps he can bring back a fire or directions. But when he entered the top of that hill, he saw a burning bush. And in a way that only Allah knows, Allah spoke to the Prophet Musa. Allah told Musa that he will now be a prophet and that he will need to go to Pharaoh and tell them to release the children of Israel and set them free. Allah gave the Prophet Musa signs that he can show Pharaoh that he is a prophet. Allah told Musa to throw his wooden staff to the ground and it will turn into a large snake. To not be afraid and grab it, it will return to its original state. He also told him to put his hand inside of his shirt and it will come out glowing white. Then when he puts his hand back in, it will go back to its original state. Musa made a dua and asked if he can have his brother Aaron be a prophet along with him on this journey. My Lord, expand for me my chest, ease my task, and untie the knot of my tongue. Allah then gave his final instruction to speak gently with Pharaoh and to not fear because Allah will be with them both. And so with both brothers now together, with courage in their hearts and truth on their tongues, they were about to take down an empire. And the Prophet Musa said, "Indeed, we are the messengers of the Lord of the worlds. Send with us the children of Israel."
And what is the Lord of the
Pharaoh
world?
questions Musa's Lord and asks for proof if he is truthful.
You are
So the
ungrateful
Prophet
for what
Musa
I have
threw
done.
his staff, and it
Let
turned
us see
into a
what your
very large
sorcerers can
serpent.
do.
My Pharaoh, what is this?
Impossible. This is just sorcery. I am God. We will see who has the best
Pharaoh
magicians.
challenged the Prophet Musa and said he will bring his best magicians and sorcerers. But as soon as their magicians placed their tricks, Prophet Musa released his serpent and it ate all of their magic tricks in one swoop. Then the Prophet Musa took his hand out of his shirt and it was glowing bright white. Many of the people there knew this was not magic. and believed that the prophet Musa was telling the truth about his Lord. The arrogance of Firoun would not let him believe in the real Lord of the worlds. Firoun then intensified his persecution of the slaves, and then Allah sent him the signs. First, drought and famine, intense weather and floods. The town was covered with thunder and lightning, wind and rain. After many days of this, they asked the prophet to remove it. Then swarms of locusts covering everywhere. Then lice. Then swarms of frogs. Finally, Allah turned the water into blood. After each trial, they begged Musa to remove this, and they will believe. But they went back on their word after every single trial was over. So Allah instructed Musa to take the children of Israel in the middle of the night and flee to the ocean. With the ocean in front of them and Firoun in pursuit behind them, Allah instructed Musa to strike his staff on the ground and split the sea. Then the prophet Musa, peace be upon him, took the Israelites and ran across the sea to the other side. As soon as they crossed, Firoun arrogantly thought he can cross as well. Some of his men stayed behind and reversed. However, Firoun and some of his men did cross. But as they were crossing, the ocean walls collapsed in on them and drowned Firoun and his men. Allah made Firoun's body wash ashore to prove Firoun was finally dead and not a god.